There I am. For a few minutes, I didn't know what was happening. Hi, everybody. It's Georgia Rose from Georgia Rose Connection. And it's Sunday night. I guess it's around, it's 8 o'clock already. I'm sorry I look a little dressed down. It's been a long weekend. Hi, Julie. Hi, Deb. It's been a weekend really busy here for me. And I've been trying to do this video all weekend. So I just figured now is the time. I just put myself in a little bit of meditation before I started. I want to talk about the planetary energy coming up for the rest of this week and into the second week of April. Some really big things happening. And I also want to talk a little bit about some spiritual stuff. So if you have any questions for me while you're watching, just jump right in. Okay, so first of all, what are the planets doing? What's going on with the energy? A couple of really big things going on this week. April 15th, Chiron comes in April 15th, I'm sorry, Mercury goes direct instead of retrograde. Hi, Teresa. So Mercury goes direct instead of retrograde, and I'm just going to look at one thing. You know what, guys? I will be back in 2 seconds. Just bear with me here. Okay, I think I'm okay. Am I on? I'm on. Okay, hi Vito, hi Liz. So planetary energy. Mercury comes out of retrograde April 15th, and that's going to really help the energy move forward. I know a lot of us have been stuck in that like break gas, having some frustration that you can't really do the things that you really want to do and get them started and get them completed. But that will, hi Teresa, thank you. But that will be actually moving more forward. So that energy is going to definitely get better. The energy that is really significant and that I want to talk about tonight is on April 17th, Chiron moves into Aries. It has been in Pisces for the last 7-8 years. Chiron in Pisces is, a lot of us have done some really deep healing. It is a very watery, emotional energy. Pisces energy also sometimes can be a little bit of the victim energy. And I think when Chiron was in Pisces, we really had a tendency to go back to our families of origin and the wounds that we grew up with and do a lot of inner child work and some really heavy healing. A lot of those cycles are now going to be completed. And of course, Chiron right now is sitting at the last degree of Pisces, 29 degrees of Pisces. Pisces is the last degree of the zodiac as far as the astrologers are concerned. And then we go into 0 point Aries. Chiron at the last degree of the zodiac, sitting at 29 degree Pisces, is extremely significant. To me anyway, that's the energy that I feel. I believe that this is really the closing of a cycle and the closing of a lot of wounds, and that a lot of us really have the opportunity to now find our voices, put wounds to rest, and really do the ultimate healing that we've been trying to do for the last 7-year cycle. I almost think of this as the wounds being cauterized, so they don't bleed anymore. You know, if you've ever gone to a doctor and you've had anything cauterized, they burn the wound so the skin comes over and heals. And I really feel like that's what some of us are going through. It's the final pain, the final letting go, the final rising again of the dead and looking at it and examining it so that we can move forward. So just know that this week the energy is probably going to be a little bit like that. But it's the end of a final 7-year cycle as Chiron moves into Aries and passes over the last degree in the zodiac. And know that there's a great energy that's coming in to give us the power to really heal once and for all and let go of a lot of things that we've been holding on to. If there's anything in your life that you've been resisting and holding on to, you really want to do some inner work to let that go. So that brings me to the part of the spirituality part of this video that I'd like to talk about. Hi, Susan. Hi, Angie. Hi, Annette. For me, this 7-year cycle of Chiron and Pisces was extremely difficult and extremely beautiful and really life-altering. Mainly because I have my natal Chiron in Pisces, so I was going through my Chiron return. When we do that, all of our old wounds and the things that we bring into this lifetime come up to really be dealt with. And it can be painful, obviously, and very challenging, but it's also our opportunity to come into a beautiful new space where we're healed and we really transform our lives. And what I can only equate this to is that it's illusion versus reality. And I feel like Pisces energy can be a little bit dreamy and a lot dreamy, actually. And in Pisces, we've probably been undergoing kind of an awakening of sorts. collectively as humans, because Pisces has been feeding us the problems and the issues and the solutions gradually. It's almost like we're at this huge banquet of wounds we have to heal, and every couple of months we get a new one to kind of taste or whatever. I think that if we had all of the things that we've all undergone in the last 7 years at once, we would have choked on it. And I always use the expression, I prefer my life to be given to me gently in bites I can chew. And unfortunately, that wasn't always the case these last 7 years for me. But I'm here smiling about it now, so it wasn't that bad, right? We all have those dark nights of the soul. But I think when Chiron was in Pisces, what it was really doing was almost at times giving us too much reality. And we couldn't do it all at once. So we had to slowly phase in this illusion versus reality kind of lessons. So what it's really done is given us our shadow. The shadow is the part of us where our wounds lie, and where the things that we're most afraid of, the things that we are frightened of the most lie. And I think that for a lot of us these last 7 years, we've done a lot of work with that shadow and brought things to the surface that maybe normally we would not have gone there. And it's given us the courage to do that. So now what I think with Chiron going into Aries is going to be a lot of forward movement. And what I'm going to ask you to think about in the next couple of days before the 17th, when Chiron really shifts, and this energy will be with us for a little while, where has Chiron in Pisces enslaved you? Where has the wound become larger than life for you? Where in your life have you got the challenge that is the ultimate challenge for you that you really need to move through and move past? And those are the things that the universe wants you to work on. At the last degree of Pisces, this is very empowering energy. This is our last ditch effort as Chiron moves into Aries to really get a hold of this energy and use it to progress us forward through the wound and finally heal. So how do you do that? So we use empowering energy to bring us to joy, to freedom. And when we heal a wound, don't we get there? So we want to pay attention not only to the inner nudges. You know, we all got those little feelings in the back of the neck. That space where our intuition comes through is actually called the mouth of God. And those little nudges and inspiration are what bring us to the things that we have to change in order to get to the joy and the freedom in our life. And then we want to watch the outward signs. If the universe seems to keep giving you roadblocks and strange happenings that just you can't do what you need to do, well, look at that and ask yourself, why is this happening? Where is it supposed to be bringing me? Because your answer definitely lies in there. So I believe that we're all looking to have greater success through positive change. And this energy right now, especially in the month of April, is going to give us just that. The other thing I wanted to talk about was inspiration, because I talk about that a lot. And people always say to me, well, you're so inspiring and all these things. And hi Denise. I'm very flattered when I hear that. I think that's a beautiful compliment to give someone that they're inspirational. But where does inspiration lie? Where do we find inspiration? Well, the place that we actually find the energy of inspiration is in just what I'm talking about. The very first thing, and I have a series of videos on YouTube about this, but the very first thing is, hi Denise, is whenever you have an uncomfortable feeling and those little nudges that our inner instincts give us, our first instinct is to go to comfort. Ignore it. No, I don't want to have that feeling. I don't want to feel angry. I don't want to feel resentful. I don't want to feel jealous. I don't want to feel shame. You can never be inspired if that is your habit. Because the inspiration comes from the feelings, and when we let them come up and feel the feeling and examine them, then we have an outlet. And in outlet, we have inspiration. I know a lot of you go to the gym. I've been going to the gym every day. Also, I'm a yogi. And in that physicality of the body, I find an outlet, and I'm inspired. So when we crush our emotions, we're crushing our inspiration. We're actually crushing the energy and the power that brings us to a place of healing and a place of going through the emotion, that we reconcile it. It's in that place of inspiration that we find reconciliation. We find things that help us to understand why this is happening to us in life, whatever the challenge may be. So what I would say is, if you can move through the emotion and find an outlet for it, whether that's going to the gym or swimming or knitting or whatever it is, some kind of creative outlet for the emotions, for the negative emotions in your life, in that space is where the inspiration lies to bring your life to a much more empowering and positive place. So that's really the key of getting inspiration in your life, is giving an outlet to the feelings that you've been crushing down. And then when you're feeling those feelings and you're allowing them to rise to the surface, hi Gina, because remember, our emotions are energy in motion. So when we crush them and we're putting that blanket on ourselves, we won't be inspired. We won't get to a better place. We won't heal. The emotions of joy and freedom only come when we allow emotions to come to the surface and feel them. So when our emotions, even if they're negative, are now, we're dealing with them, we're understanding them, we're letting ourselves feel them, really ask yourself, what does this emotion need from me? You're jealous, you're angry, you're shamed, you're frustrated, whatever the emotion is, what does it need from me? And then give it to yourself. Don't go to another for it. Give it to yourself. Like you were a unconditionally loving mother that would give it to your child. Only give it to your own heart and give it to yourself. In that, you will be inspired. You will find the healing, you will find the joy, and you will find the freedom that we all need in order to bring our lives to a more positive level. Hi, Lisa. So that's where you get creation. That's where you get freedom. That's where you get joy. And never are the planets more aligned for us to be empowered by that energy than right now, when we have the planet of Chiron, who is the wounded healer planet, going into the 0 degrees of Aries. 0 degrees of Aries is known as the point of creation in the zodiac chart. It's the point where everything begins. It's the beginning of the chart. So we have the beginning of creation helping us to push our lives through into beautiful healing space and these 7-year cycles we've been in as Chiron goes into Aries. So when we're in a reactive space, remember, when we're in that space of reactive and we're arguing or we're fighting or we're in conflict or we're flipping somebody the bird in traffic or we're arguing with our mom over the phone or we're just ready to, throttle our children, that's a reactive energy. When you're in reactive energy, you can't listen to your emotion. You're shut down. You're just reactive. You're looking for an external to bring in to do something to change the emotion. It will never happen. You'll keep looking for that. You'll get more and more angry. You'll get more and more frustrated. But when you stop and you allow yourself to feel the emotion instead of pushing it away and being reactionary, then you can ask the emotion what it needs from you, you can provide it, and you can bring your life to another level. And the next time that situation occurs, I guarantee you, you will be inspired with a different solution instead of becoming reactionary. So that's the energy for April until about the middle of the month. Mercury goes direct on the 15th, and that'll bring a lot of this energy to moving forward. We're not idling at the curb anymore. And on the 17th, Chiron goes into Aries. So just feel this beautiful energy and use it to empower yourselves and know that healing is coming. I also want to just say one more thing in closing about emotions and how to go into inspiration and creation and joy and freedom instead of the negative emotions. And one of the emotions that I had to deal with a lot in my life through my family of origin, and probably some emotion I brought in from other lives, was shame. And one of the things that I was actually reading recently about antidotes to shame and how we work through shame was talking about how when you are silent and you don't tell your story and you don't allow your voice to come, the shame just amplifies and stays with you. So today I'm going to ask all of you to, if you can, work on it, be in a space where you can really talk to someone in your life and share your story maybe to someone who might be going through a similar challenge that your challenge is. Whatever that may be, it could be big, it could be small. But if we could all reach out a little bit into the world and give that empathy and that compassion so that people are comfortable enough to be vulnerable to tell their story, then there would be no shame. There would be very little hatred, and there would be a lot of love, because now everyone feels able and empowered by feeling their emotions instead of feeling your emotions becoming a weakness, becoming a vulnerability. So I'm going to leave you with that tonight. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free on this page or at georgiaroseconnection.com. I have impassioned my life by doing this, and this is my healing and yours, I hope. You guys heal me so much with your beautiful comments and inspire me every day. So I'm very glad to be inspiring you if that's happening. If you have any questions or comments, georgiaroseconnection.com. And I hope you have a beautiful week, and I'll talk to you soon.